Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Ohio Guys here. I'm Christian Ocampo, and today I'm being joined by Mr. Tony Azzolino. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. It's great to have you in your very first interview. I'm excited to get some questions for you.
Thank you.
First of all,
Happy to be here.
yeah, definitely. What is it like working in the industry today?
Working in the voiceover industry, it's very much a freelance job. Either pardon me, one second, as my headphone falls out. Um, it's either you're getting calls from an agent to book you on stuff, or okay, let's back up. A lot of people have questions about how to get started, and people you can start either by taking classes, or some people come in from on camera acting, theater background, stuff like that. But eventually, at some point in time, people get hooked up with agents, and then that starts you down the path toward maybe booking a job someday. Um, yeah, so. Uh, I'm sorry. What was the question again?
What's it like working in the industry?
What's it like? Yeah, it's sometimes it's feast or famine generally. Sometimes it's really busy and you got 3 or 4 sessions a week, and sometimes you don't hear from anybody for 2 weeks. It's fun though. It's I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and no, sorry, I've been saying 10 years for a while. It's about 12 years now, and it's probably the most fun I've ever had in my life. I I get paid to play, and I think that's one of the greatest things out there.
An actor's life.
All right.
All right. Second question. In your experience, what is your favorite show you have worked on?
My favorite show. Let's see. That's you know to tell you the truth, it's something that hasn't come out yet. Um, just because it's a. I mean, I can't mention specifics, but it's an animated show where I get to really just go off and have a great time, um, and be a real character. That it's sort of that thing that actors get into acting for. Like, people want to get into animation to play these really big characters and have lots of fun in the booth. And yeah, it's one of those things.
Okay. Can't wait to find out.
Of what's aired out there, um, I'd have to say I'm so sorry that this thing keeps falling out of my ear.
No worries.
Otherwise, I can't hear you. Um, let's see what else. Hmm. Maybe I should have taken the list of questions beforehand.
Yeah.
Let's see. You're talking about anime stuff, right?
Anime or anything else that's related to acting?
Okay. I have to say, I haven't had much chance to do ensemble records, and this was actually something that was done a long time ago. It was a piece for Intel where I played. It was pushing some IT thing, but there were like four of us in a booth, and we were just recording all of our characters in an ensemble record, and doing dubbing. I don't generally get to do that so much, and that is a ton of fun when you have just uh, a bunch of actors, standing around riffing off of each other when you're given just a little bit of latitude to really have fun with a piece.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the shows I'd like to ask you about,
Yeah.
what was like working on Children of the Whales?
Children of the Whales was was cool because I got to play Mosso. Um, he's not generally the type of character I play. He's a little bit more of a jock. He's a little bit more of a, kind of a hard ass. And you later find out that he's like the hard ass with a heart of gold. He's got that soft spot in him. But he, yeah, it was really good. Being able to yell really loud, and really, really, it was just, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like we actually got to take some time with that character and explore where he went. Yeah, it's. I liked recording it. I mean, it was good times.
Bit of a sad show.
Yeah, in the end, it was. Not the saddest show I've worked on.
Yeah.
But yes.
All right. Another show you have worked on. Oh, long title though. Cyborg 009 versus Devilman.
Okay. Cyborg 009 versus Devilman. That was an OVA. Let's see. That was a while ago. I remember doing it. I got to say that was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. If it might be longer. Yeah, so that one I played Great Britain. For some reason, I don't remember why we decided not to do an accent, but he ended up sounding more like an irritating nerd. I don't remember why that was the case. That one was really quick. I think that was, my part in it was done in about a day or two. So, I remember it was just wild and crazy, and we went kind of nuts on it. But yeah, it was another one I did down at SDI/Splice Bread, and yeah, we ended up doing a lot of stuff for. Was that one out on Netflix?
Yes.
Yeah. So we do some stuff for Netflix. So
tons of stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of Netflix, here's another show on it. Gantz Zero. What was like on that show?
Gantz Zero. I mean, that one was really dark.
Yes.
That was one of the darker things I've done. Well, yeah, I mean, definitely being that sort of military dude, evil guy. It was kind of cool going up against the good guys and being an asshole, basically. One of the characters I get to play sometimes is like the sort of snarky young dude, but this was not that. This guy was, kind of more ragey than snarky, and that was fun to do. To be able to get into full action mode and kick some ass that way.
That's perfect.
I mean, ultimately he died, but
yeah,
that happens with a lot of my characters.
Especially this series. It's one of my favorite franchises out there in anime.
Oh wow!
Very gory, very bloody. I love it.
Yeah.
I hope there's more to come. It's such a good series.
Oh yeah. I mean, I hope they make more, and I hope to be in more. That's that the common actor trope, always begging for a job.
Like I said, I hope there's more to come. It's so good. Another question I have for you.
Yeah.
Was like working on Kuromu Koro.
Kuromukuro. That was fun. I like Sebastian. Sebastian was, it was kind of hilarious because his name wasn't Sebastian. He assumed the name Sebastian because he wanted to be a good butler. So he thought that if he gave himself a proper English name, that he would, that would be better for him in his role as a butler. Also, Uh, I have to say my favorite moment of that show is okay. Spoilers. Sorry. Um, there's an arc where you think he dies, and turns out he doesn't die, and he's like lost in the forest for a while, but he comes back, and he's like, shh. He's this big burly guy, and he comes back, and he's shirtless, and he's bearded, and I think he's like, he's all messed up, and you just see him, and he's like, I'm back, and I remember in the booth seeing that moment and just like cheering, like, yeah! I don't know. Maybe you had to be there. It was really fun.
All right, now here's the big one that just
Yes.
came out this past spring. What was that working on Violent Evergarden?
Okay, Violet Evergarden. That one was okay. On one side, like the role of Gilbert, that was awesome. It was cool to be such to portray that central figure in the story. But it was weird to see because when you're dubbing something, you only see what's the scenes your character is in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a very different impression of the show, when I was dubbing it to when it actually came out. I'm like, oh, it's a show about war, and it's a show about this guy's relationship with this girl, and he dies a lot, because I remember being in there dubbing, and we had to record his death scene. I want to say, counting here, like 4 or 5 times. So I'm like, why is he dying so much? Yeah, I mean that bodes well when you go in for your first day on a character, and they're like, yeah, this is a pretty major character, and you die the first day. It's actually like the first scene, if I remember correctly. It's like, okay, at least the first scene I recorded was his death. And so when I eventually saw it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's how this all fits in. It made a lot more sense. As for the actual character of Gilbert, he was, there was a lot of question in my mind as to how to go at it, because I didn't want to be, whenever you're acting, you kind of want to think out of the box. It's weird. I always envision it as like, you have your box, and you want to be like on the edge of it. You don't want to be too far outside of it, because then people are going to be like, what was he doing? I don't know what he was doing. That doesn't sound like anime. But then you don't want to be too far in it, because then it's like, oh my god, he's trying to sound like everybody else. And it's like, well, and you don't want to sound like other people, because as an actor, you have your specific voice, and you want to, cultivate your sound, and you also want to do something that people are going to like. So yeah, we sort of settled on this sort of oddly reserved guy. I don't know. I thought it was a good counterpoint to Violet's, her personality, as you see throughout the show, sort of blooms. And, but, when Gilbert knew her, she was very, very sort of robotic, that, she was that weapon. So, yeah, I thought that his personality, talking, like, sort of talking to her, sort of childlike innocence, yet steely demeanor at the time. I thought if she was trying to emulate human emotion by copying him, that's kind of where she'd end up. I don't know. It's heady, but dubbing goes fast, and
You sounded great, in my
Oh,
opinion.
thank you.
So yeah, great show. can't wait for it to come out on DVD whenever that happens. But I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but
It takes time. I've seen it takes like a year or two.
Yeah,
but it'll be out. I guarantee.
I mean, the cool thing about Netflix is you can do something and it comes out like immediately, or in the case of Violet Evergarden, a little bit of lead time, but we were still dubbing as they were still releasing in the rest of the world, because the rest of the world got it week by week, and we got it as a binge watch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, now it's time for our funny question we like to ask.
Sure.
If you could be any character you have played in real life, who you be, and you can mix and match.
Okay. Any character I've played in real life. Alright. So, I'd probably go for Jan on Guard from Bravely Second. That one, he was just the biggest snarky ass to everyone and everything, and I mean, he ended up getting redeemed. He was evil, but he ended up getting redeemed in the end, and he was really good with a sword. So I think it would be a lot of fun just to go around and be as snarky as you want to be.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have at it. All right. So, next question. Is there anything else coming out that you can talk about, or anything you want to plug in at this time?
Let's see. I'm currently on Yokai Watch on Disney XD, Fridays at 5:30 p.m. I think 5:30. Check your local listing. What else? I've got like a movie coming out, but I don't know when. So, and I don't think I can. Yeah, these NDAs are really fun because you're like, I've got work. I swear, I'm acting. I'm doing stuff. I can't tell you anything, but I am. There's a show There's a show that I really, really want to come out soon, because it was the show I was talking about that I'm having a ton of fun on. We go in and we do these sessions, and I swear it's like we are laughing half the time. We're recording half the time, and we are just busting up the other half the time because it's so fun to do. And well, I think they might be laughing at me, but I don't care. It's really, really fun.
All right. Well, that comes down to our last question, and we ask to everyone: any Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any other social media for the fans to contact you?
Okay. I don't have a public Facebook, but I've got Twitter. It's Tony Azzolino. I don't know, maybe you could put that up on the screen because it's hard to spell. And then Instagram too. I have to admit, I'm not the most active on social media. I engage sometimes, but I'm one of those people who's like, oh, I should post more. I really should post more. What would I post about? I don't know. I would say it's a New Year's resolution, but it's nowhere close to New Year's. It's something I intend to start doing more and more often, because, as you well know, that a lot of people, really get a lot of return from engaging with fans and with, people who appreciate what they've done and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun just getting to, tweet about stuff and then just,
yeah,
at least get some like appreciation from the fans, saying, hey.
Well, yeah, I mean, and as a voice actor, it really is, I mean, you see I'm in my booth right now, but a lot of this is you're working alone, or you're working with one or two other, you're working with your engineer, you're working with your director. You don't even see the other actors on the show. A lot of the times you meet somebody and they're like, yeah, I was in this thing. And you're like, you were? Oh, I was too! Cool, who'd you play? if you're not immediately staying on top of it and seeing what's going on with that particular project, because there's some things where you get invested and you're like, okay, I'm going to track this project. I'm going to see when it comes out, who's in it, because you'll do stuff and you're a fan of it. And, there's some stuff you do, and it's a job, and you're done, and you move on, and then you find out, oh, okay, so that's where that went. So that's, it's, I forgot where I was going. But that's the business, really.
Right. All right, sir. Well, I want to thank you for your time doing this interview, especially since it's your very first one.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, me and the guys really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. And if you ever have any questions, reach out.
Oh, we bet. We'll be coming back for more something in the future.
Cool.
All right, and thank you to our viewers for tuning in for another episode of the Ohio Guys here. Thank you all. I'm Christian.
All right, I'm Tony.
And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Have a good one.